one is gonna find that king and find her out. Put my ball in the pocket and knock them all down. Gonna crank it up, let's rock them up. Gonna crank it up, let's swing them up. Get ready to bowl now, strike out the day. Get ready to bowl, strike out the day.
Yes, the Professional Bowlers Tour in its 32nd year has stopped in the desert city of Phoenix. Fair Lanes Squaw Peak for the $130,000 Phoenix Open. Will not only determine a Phoenix Open champion, but today for the first time in the 32 years, King of the Hill champion. Hello again, I'm Chris Schenkel. I'm really glad you joined us. Instead of 5 seeded players going for the championship, with the new format we have 4. Here they are. In our first match, meeting head-to-head, it'll be the 4th seed David Traber of Woodstock, Illinois. He will bowl an 8-time champion, Parker Bohn III from Freehold, New Jersey. The winner of that match will next meet the number 2 seed, the 1986 Player of the Year, Walter Ray Williams, Jr. of Stockton. Then in the championship game, this winner will bowl the tournament leader, twice Player of the Year, Amleto Monacelli. That's today live. And of course, the King of the Hill is this man that won the AC Delco last week. And Ron Williams is right here waiting for the winner, Nelson Burton Jr. of our Phoenix Open.
You're right, Chris. A new dimension in PBA bowling. 4 players, as you said, the King of the Hill, Ron Williams from the AC Delco Classic. This is the first of 15 weeks on ABC television this winter that will have the King of the Hill challenge matches. It'll be the last match. If a player wins, he goes on to Las Vegas. He's the King of the Hill that week, and he'll bowl the Las Vegas champion, Chris. A lot of excitement, a lot of money available here to be played for.
$24,000 will go to the winner of our 3 games, second 12-5, 8, and the loser of the first match, $6,000. So it's imperative that you win. And here they go with the handshake. Looking for his first national victory, David Traber will have to face the left-hander, one of the best ever, Parker Bohn III. 8 titles in his 9 years, a PBA member. Well, he broke up that Mark Roth split and left only the 10-pin. This very quiet, very dedicated, and very compassionate young man.
Chris, he bowled a great game, the 42nd game last night. He bowled a 280 game against Brian Boss to jump from 5th place all the way up to 3rd. Uses the full fingertip grip into the first knuckle, balances the ball in the palm of the hand, cross lane, simple shot.
Parker is unusual, has won 7 of his 8 titles from the number 1 seed. So he'll have to go against his track record starting from number 3. So here is his opponent, David Traber, former stock car driver, stock car racer. Needed 2 strikes in the final frame to make it. 30 years come Monday. That's his age. Right directly toward the pocket, but coming up high, Nelson.
Well, Chris, he has an ideal style, just a simple 4-step delivery. He's almost like just a solid league bowler. He's very simple, by the book, push away, gets the shot about shoulder high, then he drives through into the pivot area. Solid release, and right now it's up to shoot the 610, trying to avoid the chop.
Here's a young man that's 7 regional titles. One of them he won right here in 1986, the National Resident Pro Championship. And in that, he beat Mark McDowell 245 to 200, $5,000 and a trip to the Firestone.
Traber, a fairly simple player. He's going to start right about the center of the lane. He's going to walk into this area. He's going to be right between the first and second arrows. Very simple, straight lines. Very controlled player.
And the 180-pounder puts it in the pocket. Perfect on the left lane, though.
Chris, they seem to like the left lane. Speaking with the 5 players that were warming up, they said if they can hit lane 38, the right-hand lane, that they'll shoot some big numbers.
Parker, his 25th telecast. This is our second stop this year.
For Parker Bohn, just an ideal style. He's got a good solid push away. He wraps the ball a little bit inside out on the downswing, has a good solid follow through, hits the line very low. He gets the perfect result.
.511, 150 pounds. Walking it out, he knew he had that one. So that's a big double, and it puts him in a 10-pin lead over David Traber, who's up and getting ready.
Dave Traber, a more controlled grip. He still uses the fingertip grip. He holds it right in the palm of his hand, stays right behind the ball, and lifts directly through the shot.
Leaving a 10-pin on the right lane.
Traber a little high in the first frame, makes an adjustment to the left on the approach so the ball finishes a little wider. Doesn't get the lift necessary to have the 6 flip into the 10. And he has the spare to shoot it. With a conversion, he'll trail by 10 through 3.
Last year on tour, he earned over $53,000 with a second, 2/3, 2/4, and a 5th. Okay, in 1992, Traber went from an average player to making 5 television appearances. He's back in 93, and here's his explanation.
Well, I think one of the reasons is I've been out here for 6-7 years now, and it takes time to build yourself up to bowl good out here. Another thing is equipment. The equipment's changed a lot in the last couple of years, and I think the equipment right now is helping my game out quite a bit, and a lot of practice helps in the long run.
The big word on the tour right now, Chris, is the reactive resin bowling balls that seem to carry so well.
Professional bowling capital this week is Phoenix, Arizona. It's also the classic car capital will be for the next 10 days. Cruise International Auto Show and Auction here in Phoenix, and next weekend it'll be Barrett Jackson. Well, we caught up with one of my favorite cars at the auction to be sold out here. Wish I could afford it. There it is, a 1967 Shelby Mustang, one like Del Ballard owned.
Hey, I'm vain. Of course I'm vain. That's why I comb my hair the way I do. I stay in shape the way I do. That's why I use Power Stick.
50% more wetness and odor fighters per stroke. Power Stick by Fabergé. Power that won't let you down.
I told you I was vain.
Hey, Pat! Willard, what are you doing here?
Shopping.
Yeah, me too. Can't resist True Value's great prices, huh?
Well, you know, it's a personal service I like. You just can't get that at those big chain stores.
Yeah, and with 7,000 stores buying together, they sure have some great prices.
You already said that.
Yeah, but it's true, Pat. These are great prices.
With great service.
And great people.
Like a family.
Does this mean we're brothers?
Well, let's say cousins.
Cousins?
Twice removed.
Some people get nasal congestion, but if you get sinus congestion, use a sinus spray like Sinex. Only Sinex has a decongestant plus Vicks Vapors, so you can feel your swollen passages open up. For sinus, think Sinex.
Back again at Fair Lanes Squaw Peak in Phoenix, Arizona. Parker Bohn and David Traber are head-to-head in this first match live. Up in that fuchsia shirt, or purple, whatever you want to call it, is the leader by 10 pins as a result of a double. He opened with a spare. Now he's shooting in the 4th frame. Parker Bohn III. Three-bagger for Parker Bohn, who's been busy this week making the final round, is also busy with charity work year-round.
Well, Bo, I spend a lot of time with Big Brothers Big Sisters. Then there's the official charity of the PBA, the Children's Miracle Network. I'm going to spend a lot of valuable time with them. But my favorite charity is the New Jersey Tournament of Champions, which is athletic events for special education children.
Okay, and we had the pleasure of attending the New Jersey Tournament of Champions honoree dinner where they honored Lee Livingston and Johnny Petraglia. They host the Johnny Petraglia Open in North Brunswick later on in our tour of 16 cities.
Parker with just a real wide shot here in the 5th frame. Gets a good break. He sends it out about 4 or 5 boards to the left of his target. Right around the first arrow. He's looking just to the left of the second arrow. Gets just the 3-pin, gets a good break. Easy spare.
Parker Bohn. He has a brother, Dale, that is a PBA member. Top regional bowler as well. David's mother-in-law is his sponsor. I like that.
Keep it in the family.
You're
and
darn
he is
right.
really doing well, Chris. 5 telecasts in the last 12 months. A lot of it is due to his experience. And his wife, Melissa, travels with him in a recreational vehicle out here. I was sitting next to her as he stood up there and had to throw 2 strikes and a 6 count to knock Tom Kreitz out of the top 4. And she has such a great attitude. She says, it's his job. My job's at home and take care of everything else. He went up there and calmly threw 3 strikes, and now he has a chance to win the tournament.
All right. Melissa's mom is Elaine Gluth, David's sponsor.
This is the kind of action we saw all week long. Big scores. These 2 players on the championship pair this week. Parker Bohn, 242 average. Dave Traber, 246 average. Phenomenal, and they're keeping that pace right now.
Parker Bohn, who also has a super mom named Jean. She was chairman of that New Jersey Tournament Champions dinner at Meadowlands in New Jersey.
Parker Bohn with just an ideal style, something to emulate with your right-hander or a left-hander. Does everything by the book. Let's watch how he lines up. Lines up on the left side. He's going to drift slightly left because he has an inside-out swing, and his target's going to be right between the first and second arrows. Going for a double. Come on, ball. Here!
Okay. Quite a match here. 9 pins separating Parker Bohn, the leader, and his opponent, David Traber. We'll be back.
She's an 83 with over 140,000 on-road and off-road miles. I must be in and out of it 150 times a day. It's a wonder the doors don't fall off. Only trouble was, with the pig charge, it caved in my door. I only use AC Delco. Cheaper parts can cost you a powerful lot. Of course, so can pigs.
AC Delco parts. It's like buying time.
And that was dinner for our favorite food critic?
Everything was wonderful.
Something else to drink, monsieur?
Yes. Make it a Bud Light, please.
I'm sorry, monsieur. We have run out.
Really? Well, that does change things a bit, doesn't it?
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Billy's Chili. Quaint atmosphere.
Is that a tip or did you just lose some change?
Charming service.
Here in Phoenix, David Traber in the white shirt has 3 in a row. He can take a 1-pin lead with a strike here in the 7th frame. This is our first match. His opponent is Parker Bohn. David looking for his first national title. Parker has 8. Nelson.
Ugly. He has a major complaint about something. He turns to National Tournament Director Johnny Campos after releasing this errant shot, which cuts right through the middle, leaves the 4, 6, 7, 9, 10. He's going to go for the 3 and try to drive him over in the 2, but he's hot.
This week, the bowling writers announced their Player of the Year choice, Mark McDowell, many-time champion. Here he is on our On the Lane reporter. Mark.
Walter, got the nickname Deadeye from Horseshoes, and we see the performance out here week after week. You haven't really shown that on television in a while. What are you going to do today to turn that around?
Well, this week I need to be a little bit more aggressive to make the top 4, and I think that's just what I need to do here on TV, is just be a little more aggressive and just make great shots and get that carry I need.
Okay, Mark McDowell and Walter Ray Williams, Jr. You'll hear from Mark a little later on as David Traber after that. Open frame. Tough break, Nelson.
He's hot, Chris. He's grabbing his spear ball very quickly. There was something to the right, bothered him on his shot in the 7th frame, and he's gotten himself in trouble.
Well, you know, loses here, he gets $6,000. Or if he won, he kept winning, he could win 24 and maybe King of the Hill, match, 5,000 extra.
Not bad. Parker Bohn can put him away right here.
Come on, Paul. Hit him!
7-pin.
Boy, Parker looks so relaxed out there, so comfortable. He's just waiting for the shot, not trying to make anything happen too quickly. Gets a bad break there, switches to a lower surface friction ball to go across lane, knock out the 7-pin, maintain a 27-pin lead.
We're in Phoenix, and next Saturday, we go to Las Vegas. That'll be the hottest game in Vegas because AC Delco champion and current King of the Hill, whom you'll see later, Ron Williams, will join the sport's best as the Professional Bowlers Tour rolls into Las Vegas. That's live next Saturday at 3 Eastern and Pacific on ABC Sports.
Parker Bohn needs 2 marks in the 9th and 10th frames to lock this match up. For Dave Traber, he has to take his time. First place, there's a pin that rolled out in front of the rack on lane 37. It's quickly being removed right now, so Traber taking a little extra time. Traber got into the championship round by being very patient, throwing a double in the 9th, 10th, and 11th shots last night against Tommy Kreitz. Right now, he needs to strike the 9th and 2 shots in the 10th. That would force Parker Bohn to mark.
1 of 7 to roll perfect 300 games.
Waiting for a re-rack on the left-hand lane. Now he's set. 9th frame, potential 221. Bohn going at a 228 pace. Must strike.
High again on the right lane. 3-6-10.
Just never seemed comfortable on this right-hand lane, which we said was the key to the championship round today. He was high in the 1st frame, avoided the split, left a 10-pin in the 3rd, and the only time he was really close was the 5th frame, threw a bad shot in the 7th, once again struggling here in the 9th.
Following us today, ABC's Wide World of Sports, featuring, those magicians, the Harlem Globetrotters.
Well, if this is a sign of things to come, David Traber, in his last 4 championship round appearances, has lost to the eventual champion. So that bodes well for Parker Bohn, who will win this match and go against Walter Ray Williams, Jr. For Traber, he'll be in the high 190s. Parker Bohn, a potential 248. Cakewalk.
Disappointing score, David Traber. Bo said be in the 190s, and this is the man that's seeking his 9th PBA national title. Still has a chance for it. He'll go next against 1986 Player of the Year. Very colorful and very talented Walter Ray Williams, Jr. The number 2 seed, and then the tournament leader winning in the wings, Amleto Monacelli. And then the King of the Hill. Winner of this Phoenix Open will meet Ron Williams, who won last week in Torrance, California. ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Golf's legends play the Senior Skins game January 30th on ABC Sports.
When it comes to choosing a pain reliever, the makers of Tylenol believe the more information you have, the better. That's why it's important to know ibuprofen is different than Tylenol. Doctors know ibuprofen can sometimes irritate your stomach. In fact, most ulcer patients shouldn't use it. But they can take Tylenol. Hospitals use Tylenol 4 times more than ibuprofen. For effective relief that's gentler to your stomach, trust Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most.
Here I am, a pillar of the community. And I love Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
Brave adults challenge the notion that Frosted Flakes is just a kid's cereal.
In business meetings, I look around and wonder,
Am I the only one?
Those sweet, crunchy flakes and a splash of cold milk. What could an adult like better for breakfast?
I'm crazy about the taste. Hey, I got nothing to hide.
It's easy to see. Frosted Flakes have the taste adults have grown to love. They're great.
A brutal murder, a woman with too many secrets, and a cop with a dangerous obsession. Sybil Shepherd, Ken Olin, Telling Secrets, starting Sunday.
Wednesday on News 101. The utility company's plan to route high-voltage lines through York County has these students turned off.
The 2,000-foot corridor GPU wants to build would allow the lines to be within 100 yards of the high school.
Some of the power can cause leukemia and other cancers.
Wednesday, watch 27 News as York County's Northern High School shows you how the power line plan fizzles out. News 101, Wednesday night at 6, only on 27 News.
This week on America's New Country, your video lineup features debuts of videos by Billy Dean, Deborah Allen, McBride and the Ride, Pam Tillis, and Doug Stone, plus video hits from Susie Boggess, Hal Ketchum, and Diamond Rio. This week we'll be going backcountry, backstage, and behind the scenes with Deborah Allen, Susie Boggess, and Hal Ketchum.
America's New Country, tonight at 7 on WHTM.
Carl Ravitch has the scores and more on 27 News.
The Professional Bowlers Tour. Brought to you by the makers of Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most. By Kellogg's, the best to you each morning. And by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
The institution has been in 103 countries, and here they are in Phoenix, the Globetrotters, led by Sweet Lou Dunbar. Okay, pal, I'm a member of the team. You're going to be on Wide World a little bit later, but tell us about your buddy.
All right, to my right here is Sterling Smooth Forbes, and to your left is Sandra Sweetness Hodge and Curly Boo Johnson.
Now, Curly's a dribbler. This young lady can do it, too. Now, that round ball does not have holes in it.
We don't need holes. With hands like these, you don't need holes.
Sterling, do you believe that, Curly? Now, you wouldn't bowl with that ball.
Oh, no? Watch this, buddy. Okay.
Here we go.
There,
watch Sweet Lou Dunbar. Here we go. Oh, what form.
Oh, no.
What a slice. See you on Wide World a little later.
Hey, we gotta go. We gotta get
Bye, bye. Bye, gang. Okay, ball.
158 to 196. Parker Bohn 7 strikes. He'll go against Walter Ray Williams Jr., who averaged a fabulous 264 on this championship pair. Walter Ray, as Mark McDowell said, as we watched the two players practice, Amleto Monacelli, the tournament leader, gets 4 practice balls. Walter taking a few before he meets Parker Bohn. And as Mark McDowell said, Walter has really struggled in the championship rounds. In the last 26 championship rounds that Walter has been in, he has only won 1 title, and that was the Japan Cup a year ago. So Walter has to get untracked. He says, get aggressive in these matches. And I crossed next to him in the tournament this week. He was fabulous when he got it going. And there he is right there, dead eye. Monacelli was steady all week long, as he will be our tournament leader. Only 4 players in the championship round this week. Monacelli will meet the winner of this match for the Phoenix Open title, and then we will have the King of the Hill Challenge.
And later on Wide World, we will meet more of the Harlem Globetrotters.
Chris, for Walter Ray Williams Jr., the key here for him is speed control. When he was very smooth with his speed and projected the ball to the right, he just struck forever. So that's what he's concentrating on. He says he's going to concentrate on his follow-through, consistent speed control, and we're down to 3 really great players left for the Phoenix Open title.
5-time world champion in horseshoes. In the white shirt, there is a big tournament in Mesa, Arizona, nearby Mesa. His mother is there running it. He has a brother competing. Of course, he can't because he made the finals, the number 2 seed in the Phoenix Open.
Chris, an interesting field of 160 players this week, 223 average. The players bowled 4 blocks this week that qualified, up 2 5-game blocks and 2 4-game blocks. adding up to 18 games, then 24 in the finals. Now here's some of the other finishers in the top 24. As you see the background, Brian Boss right in it. Tom Kreitz just missed. Vespi had a 300. Billy Oakes a 300. Dave Arnold a 300. Rich Abood, weightlifter, working on his game. Palumbi, the defending champion here. Veteran Gary Dickerson, 18. Don Moser, steady as usual. George Branham will be an All-American this year, and Dave Husted rounds out the top 24. Chris, they're ready for semifinal action here. It's going to be Walter Ray Williams Jr. leading off against Parker Bohn III.
Okay, and remember, this is our new format. 3 seeded matches for the Phoenix Open Championship. This is our second. This is the first shot now for Walter Ray Williams Jr. Didn't come up. Close counts in horseshoes, but not in bowling.
You're right. I played a lot of horseshoes with this man. He very seldom misses. In fact, at one time, he had 114 consecutive ringers in a practice session. Steps back off the approach as the right-hand lane re-racked. Good spare shooter. In fact, number 1 on the tour, almost misses the 4-7.
There's that nice smile of the man that I think looks a little like a young Errol Flynn. Impressive, Bo.
Well, he's got it all going, Chris. You know that winning that first match, we've seen history repeats itself, that a player gets loose, and we're down to, not to take anything away from Dave Traber, who has yet to see in the winner's circle, we're down to 3 proven champions here in the Phoenix Open. Parker Bohn, Walter Ray, and of course Amleto Monacelli. The grip of Parker Bohn. He has worked on his grip so much in the last 2 months. He was losing the ball on the downswing. He said he drilled over 25 balls to get a proper grip, change pitches, and he's got it going today.
And you talked about championships, Bo. A total of 27 between the 3, or among the 3, whichever way you want to put it. 27 PBA titles. 8 for Bohn, 6 for Walter Ray, 13 for Amleto.
Right now he has to get the ball between the 3 and 5 pins, have the ball take out the 9. Across the center of the lane, there's a little more oil than there is on the outside. He has to push that ball through and make sure to carry out the 9. Oh!
You ever feel like that bowling pin looked?
Watch this ball as it just hits the 3, 5, and just the little love tap on the 9. How important that is.
Light hit, but plenty of action on that ball, Nelson.
I agree, Chris. He is a little different than other players on the tour. Most of the touring players would agree that Walter Ray has the best natural feel of the game of bowling. Whether he got that from horseshoes or just from the man above, I don't know. But watch how Walter does it. Right here he's standing. He's going to drift a little this way. He's going to actually kind of flip the ball right between the first and second arrows. Great talent.
All but the 4. Wow. The young man that in 1989 helped President Bush and Vice President Quayle dedicate the horseshoe court at the White House. And here's Mom, Walter Ray's mother, here today, cheering him on. Now Parker Bohn. Opened with a strike, marked with a spare. 3rd frame, 2nd game, semifinal game for the Phoenix Open title, then the King of the Hill match. Nelson, you bowled this week, and I'm proud of you. 36th place, and you made some money.
Made a little few dollars, Chris. Made $1,080. First time I bowled in a national tour event on the regular tour since July. I was very happy with my game. Going to start bowling again at the True Value. A couple weeks off. So these guys are awfully tough, though, Chris. Until you bowl in these tournaments, even myself, I have forgotten how good they really are. Even match, Parker Bohn can take the lead with a strike.
Come on, Gary!
Okay. Parker Bohn with that animation leading by 10 over Walter Ray Williams. We'll be back.
Ninjas do two things very well. They react. And they attack. Nothing blows them away like a ninja. The AMF Ninja, available today.
Why get an inferior shave when you could have the best? Why choose ordinary lubrication when you could have the richest? Why settle for average protection against razor irritation when you could have the most advanced, giving you the closest shave with less irritation? Edge Gel. Ultimate closeness. Ultimate comfort. That's the Edge.
Viva Las Vegas! Bowling's high rollers head to Nevada to find out who's the king and who's headed for Heartbreak Hotel. Next Saturday on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour.
Here at Fair Lanes Squaw Peak in Phoenix, Walter Ray Williams Jr. trailing by 10. Has to spare up. He's shooting in the fourth frame semifinal match. Oh, must. Okay, Mark McDowell is on the lanes for an interview.
Amleto, you've got one of the best mental games on tour. I'd like to know, how do you approach television any differently than you do during the week?
I really try to do the same thing, focus on my approach, and try to get my mind in a stage that I'm not thinking about anything. But the difference in the show, I try to be a little more aggressive since during the week, you have a long way to go.
Okay, fellas, two examples of the quality that's out here on the Professional Bowlers Tour. They're just great, consistent competitors and wonderful friends. We have a friend, mutual friend, in Battle Creek, Michigan, watching from a hospital bed. Nelson.
Buzz Fazio, Hall of Famer Buzz Fazio, we wish you a speedy recovery. Buzz is the oldest man to ever win a PBA tournament at age 56.
Okay. Continuing to strike. Coming up next, don't forget, it's the season's premiere of ABC's Wide World of Sports featuring the Globetrotters. They'll perform their unique brand of magic, and they, yes, are the ambassadors of goodwill, especially this show, as they visit South Central Los Angeles. Also, the debut of a new series featuring athletes on the edge. Today on Wide World, former ski racers turned extreme skiers look to get dialed into Jackson Hole, Wyoming's most serious ski terrain. Plus, the 1992 Wide World of Sports Athlete of the Year award presented by Visa.
The hook.
And yes, I'm out of breath. But that's 4 in a row for Parker Bohn, taking a 20-pin lead, but Walter can cut it back to 10 with a strike here.
This resembles the first match, Parker Bohn against Dave Traber. The pivotal frame was the 7th frame. Everybody was striking until the 7th. Let's see if Walter can keep the pace.
No luck.
Well, the ball, kind of what we said, rolled out. It started to hook and then lost some of its energy and quit. Just before it got solid, the 6 did not take out the 10. The man voted the best spare shooter on the Pro Bowlers Tour is quickly up cross lane around the 3rd arrow. Piece of spare.
Walter Ray Williams has a degree in physics, Cal Poly, and he explains the reaction of the new resin bowling balls currently popular among today's pros.
Well, this special additive in the urethane makes the ball react a lot more violently. When it's on oil, it slides that much farther, and when it gets to the dry part of the lane, it really reacts more and hooks a lot more.
It gives you a little bit better carry.
Among the professional bowlers, a lot of college folks, too, like Walter Ray, Cal Poly, 2 degrees, 5 times world horseshoe pitching champion, a remarkable guy.
40-year-old woman who loves a kid cereal. Just doesn't add up.
Brave adults challenge the notion that Kellogg's Frosted Flakes are just for kids.
I face 5 alarmers, and I can't face my 5-year-old at breakfast.
Proving again that even the most courageous can't resist that sweet crunch in cold milk.
I love them, but I can't tell you why.
The secret's out. Frosted Flakes have the taste adults have grown to love. They're great.
In my business, my hair has to look great. And even one flake is one too many. So I use New Head & Shoulders. It gets to 10 times more the places where dandruff starts. New Head & Shoulders. Because great hair can't have flakes.
Guess what motor oil gives you unbeatable wear protection? Give them a clue, Bert. Quaker State. What motor oil is unsurpassed in preventing sludge buildup? Quaker State. Now, guess what motor oil Bert uses? Quaker State. Here's one tough motor oil. Good gas.
She won an Olympic medal, but never a national crown. Now Nancy Kerrigan goes for the gold at the U.S. Figure Skating Championships live next Saturday night on ABC Sports.
This man won the AC Delco Classic last week, making him the King of the Hill Challenger, our new man. So he's going to get his first test as the King of the Hill Challenger. He'll meet the winner of the Phoenix Open. We're in the semifinal of that event as Parker Bohn is going against Walter Ray Williams, Jr. Tournament leader next, Amleto Monacelli. Going for 5 in a row, leaving the 4-7.
We said the 7th frame was the pivotal frame in the first match as Dave Traber came up on the right-hand lane and left a 5-pin split. Parker Bohn has a little bit better fate. He hits right in the nose and breaks down the split, leaves the 4-7 spare. If he converts, he will continue to lead in this match through 7 frames by 19 pins.
What smoothness by the left-hander.
Great lesson to be learned watching Parker Bohn. The lower you get at the foul line on the pivot step, that's the second to last step, the harder you drive off, the harder you lift through the sliding position. Watch his pivot step. The lower you get, remember this, especially you youngsters out there, this is where you get the most drive and the most lift. Watch how he gets down at the line.
All right, leaving 7 on the left lane.
Parker with a good attitude. He knew he threw the ball as well as he can throw it. When one round object, i.e. the bowling ball, hits another round object, the bowling pins, they don't seem to react exactly the same every time. However, he's happy with that shot.
Walter Ray Williams is up next using the full approach. There's a brother who was a junior world champion. He had 2 sisters, 2 of his 3 that were California state champions. Oh, no. I agree.
Walter disappointed. He went with a little extra. We were talking about getting lower at the foul line. He got lower, got more leverage, and got a bad break as the ball went high. 4-7-10.
Sweep had hardly gotten up and the ball was released. Walter is hot and I don't blame him. Both players are mic'd. Wireless microphones.
Story so far has been as we predicted, Chris. Lane 38 has been the key lane. It opened the door in the first match as Traber opened. Now Walter Ray has opened.
Well, the last time he's won November 1991, but he's been on television a lot. At one time was 0 for 4 on TV, but in the tournaments that he's bowled, including the fall, Nelson, he's been in finals 3 of 5, so he's coming back.
Well, Walter's a great player, Chris. There's no doubt. He's disappointed today, and that last shot he just threw in the 9th frame was just kind of a apathetic shot because he was so disappointed with the open in the 8th. Right now, Parker Bohn in the driver's seat, going about the same pace he did the first match, in the 220s.
Well, it again proves that keeping composure, like David Traber in the first match had a distraction and it just fell apart, and can't blame him. And then now Walter Ray with what he thought was a bad break, it got to him, and in all types of competition, especially on this level.
I agree.
It works.
Well, Chris, if they would just slow down a little bit when they're going bad and keep the pace when they're going good. That's a winner right there.
That's what you need to win in any sport. So occasionally, everything going the right way. Especially in this sport, the pins.
I agree. Well, today's bowling balls energize the pins so much with the great talent we have out here that we saw Walter Ray slap out the 10-pin in the 7th frame with a shot like that. Here, Parker does it here in the 10th to lock up the match. 236 with a spare.
Don't forget, next up, Amleto Monacelli, twice Player of the Year, to determine the Phoenix Open champion. Then, in our new format, a head-to-head match, winner-take-all for the King of the Hill title. Ron Williams is the challenger. We'll be back.
ABC Sports presents a winning never gets old bowling tip, sponsored by Choice Hotels International. Here's bowling great Dick Weber.
With me today is 17-time PBA national champion and senior tour winner Carmen Salvino. Carmen, in the late 1950s, you had such a classic style, everybody envied you.
That's true, Dick. I used to hold the ball real high. I had a big push away in those days. Ball went over the top of the backswing, and I had such a tremendous arm swing that the pins really did mix around, and I got a lot of strikes.
But, Carmen, lately I've noticed you've lowered that ball in the setup. What's the reason for that?
Well, Dick, as you get a little older, you have to modify your game so you make it a little more simpler, so you get more repeatability. And as a result, I brought the ball down lower. I've got a lower backswing, but I still get a lot of lift on the ball, and I still get that great mix. So it goes to show you, no matter what your age is, you can change your game, you can still bowl good, and still have a great time in this great sport of bowling.
Remember, with those simple adjustments, you can enjoy the sport of bowling and increase your average. Remember, winning never gets old.
Look for more ABC Sports Winning Never Gets Old bowling tips, sponsored by Choice Hotels International.
There are gut balls and gutter balls, and sometimes the trophy balls. But no matter what, you'll love the bowlers who have it all on ABC Sports Home Video, Bowling the Perfect Game. Call 1-800-4ABC-VCR to order bowling's colorful history, narrated by Chris Schenkel and Nelson Burton Jr. This collector's home video can be yours to enjoy for only $14.98 plus $3.95 shipping. That's 1-800-4ABC-VCR.
You know, I'm always teaching bowlers how to put fingers into the shot, not just the ball. But you can also use your fingers to save money. If you're 50 or over, just call 1-800-4CHOICE, and you can save 30% at Choice Hotels like quality, comfort, clarity, and sleep. 30%. Now that's what I call aiming for the pocket.
Travelers 50 and over save 30% at any of the 7 brands in the Choice Hotels family.
Over the years, I've made a lot of trips back and forth to Vegas.
How's it going this trip, George?
The odometer was broken for over 50,000 miles, so I say we've got 300,000 miles on this car.
Hi, George.
I've had a longer relationship with this car than I've had with any woman.
Hi, George. How are you?
This beauty is a living example of what can be done with proper maintenance and AC Delco.
Hi, George.
AC Delco parts. It's like buying time.
They ate the same things, got the same heartburn, but his antacid is very different. His Tums has calcium. Most antacids don't. Original Rolaids uses an aluminum salt. These two use aluminum and magnesium. Of all these, only Tums helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium you need every day.
That's just peachy for them. But I've got this gas problem.
No problem. Tums makes an anti-gas antacid too.
Recapping the Phoenix Open, in our first match, Parker Bohn III defeating David Traber 228 to 196. In steps Walter Ray Williams Jr. and again Bohn with 7 strikes, 236 to Walter Ray's 196. So in our new format with 4 top-seeded players in 3 matches, Parker Bohn goes against Amleto Monacelli for the Phoenix Open Championship, and the winner of that then will meet the King of the Hill challenger, last week's winner, Ron Williams. Our next two stops, we're in Phoenix today. We go to Las Vegas next week for the $175,000 event, and to be followed 2 weeks from today, back to Grand Prairie, Texas. The Quaker State Open, a $200,000 event. Jeannie Halsey, her crew ready for the professionals and all of us, and we look forward to going back to see Byron Nelson as well.
You're right, Chris. Harry Saladins is the defending champion at Las Vegas, and Alan Bishop, the lefty, conquered an all left-handed field in a high-scoring event at the Quaker State last year. Now, Amleto Monacelli is finishing the last of 6 practice balls before the championship match. And I said before we went on the air, we're all getting a double dip this week, Chris. 2 championship matches almost. This was one for the Phoenix Open, and next, the King of the Hill.
So, Parker Bohn III, with nearly $700,000 earned on the lanes, going against Monacelli, one of 8 players to accomplish over the $1 million mark with 13 championships. Here's Parker's first shot.
That is a lot of help. Boy, oh boy, it leaves the 6-7 kind of unusual for a left-hander, and you could hear from his wireless mic a lot of help. He knew he threw that way wide. He has to get the ball over to the right-hand side of the 6-pin and slide the 6 into the 7. It's makeable for Parker, but tougher for a left-hander than it is for a right-hander because his ball is going away from the 6-pin. First frame.
Hoping for a lucky bounce. So it's an open frame for a man that's won 2 games this afternoon, 7 strikes in each of the 2, and now here he is. Twice Player of the Year, back-to-back 89 and 90, Amleto Monacelli. First tournament here in 93 for him. Incredible athlete, 5'8", 150 pounds, 31 years old.
Amleto Monacelli just has developed into arguably one of the very, very best bowlers in the world. That open hand at the top of the swing, the high profile. Look at how deep and at the line. We were talking about Parker Bohn being low at the line, that good long slide, the solid pivot step, and on balance. Neither one of these players fall off balance despite a tremendous lift on the ball.
Okay, Amleto, who is the top seed. He won in Taylor, Michigan from the top seed.
Parker Bohn cannot let Monacelli get away from him, even in the early going. Monacelli will not look back and let him catch him.
So as Parker now moves to the left side, replay.
Headpin does the damage. We talk about the powerful bowling balls these players are using. Headpin sideboard. 5 years ago, Chris, that would have been a 7-pin standing. Right now, the headpin comes flying across, takes out the 7. Parker Bohn has a chance for a double in the 3rd frame. Get up!
All right, cuts Amleto's lead to 11. Amleto with a double, and he is shooting in the 3rd frame. Amleto last year also won the Choice Hotels event in Edmond, Oklahoma. Choice Hotels will be bringing you our tip of the week each week. Dick Weber with his guests. Today was Carmen Salvino.
Amleto waiting for the left-hand lane to re-rack the pins. There are normally 21 pins in a rack. You see 10. There's 10 more you can hear cycling around back there, and we stick an extra one in so that doesn't happen. However, there was a slight delay. Now Monacelli 2 strikes in a row, 3rd frame. That's about as good a shot as you can see of a solid 10. That ball entered the pocket from that low camera angle. The 6 just flying around the 10.
We mentioned our next 2 stops. Well, this man has won 13. One of them was in Las Vegas in '88. 2 weeks from today in Grand Prairie, he won there in 1991. Amleto Monacelli. Monacelli's had some concerns recently. outside of bowling. Listen.
Well, I was working a little bit in my clothing stores, and however, November 27, we had military try to take over the government, and the first thing I thought was just to leave the country and come here with my wife, and thank God, you know, nothing happened. 3 days later, it's like nothing happened, and everything's okay. I'm ready to bowl again.
Okay, we're in our championship match for the Phoenix Open title, then the King of the Hill. More after this.
Six months ago, my dentist says to me, Mike, you got a tartar problem. Get Tartar Control Crest. But doctor, I said, I thought toothpaste is toothpaste. He sticks that pick in my mouth. He says, think again.
You'll have significantly less tartar at your next visit if you use Crest's unique tartar fighting formula for 6 months. We're so sure, we'll give you a money-back guarantee.
So I started using Crest every day. And you were looking at a happy guy. A very happy guy.
Tartar Control Crest. Less tartar in 6 months guaranteed.
Getting older is a little different than I thought it would be. I'll have to admit I'm a little slower now, but it occurs to me I might have been living too fast anyway.
Over 16 million Americans suffer from the pain of common arthritis, including Woody and Louise Paul. But with the help of Tylenol and regular exercise, it doesn't seem to keep them from having a pretty good time.
They say if you lose your sense of humor, you lose everything. Guess I'm pretty lucky.
For arthritis pain relief, Tylenol. It helps.
Basketball's court jesters, the Harlem Globetrotters, show off their best stuff when they take their game to South Central LA. Next on the season premiere of ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Yes, 4 of those trotters were here earlier. They're fun. Wide World next. Now it's Parker Bohn. Come on. That was big because he had a double working, Nelson. Putting it even on the match as we go to a great champion, Mark McDowell.
Ron, great win last week for you. This week you finished 102nd. What are you going to do today that you didn't do all week?
Well, Mark, I came out and practiced last night after the finals was over with, and I used the ball that I hadn't tried all week, unfortunately. But I think I have a good shot today, and I'm going to give it the best shot here.
Okay.
His opponent yet to be determined. This match all even, 2 great champions. 4th frame, they are tied going into the 5th. 3 in a row.
He leads by 10. Parker Bohn, who won the first 2 games here in the Phoenix Open, going against the tournament leader Amleto Monacelli. Mark McDowell, our On the Lanes reporter today, named the Bowling Writers Player of the Year. Earlier, David Traber was named the PBA Player of the Year. He was on our telecast last week. Bang, bang. All even again.
Monacelli, who has not only one of the great physical games, but one of the great mental games, is a pretty much of a power player with accuracy. He'll stand to the left side of the approach and then drift a little bit more left. This allows him to swing the ball inside out, and then his target will be right between the 2nd and 3rd arrows. He is even in a match right now, can take a 10-pin lead, 6th frame.
Okay, the winner of this game will get $24,000, but he'll also have a shot at $5 grand. Next Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports, dreams of glory on the line at the United States Figure Skating Championships presented by Visa. First at 4:30 Eastern and Pacific, Todd Eldridge tries for his 3rd U.S. championship in the men's final live. Then, in a special, our live coverage continues as Olympic medalist Nancy Kerrigan goes for her first national title. It's next Saturday, ABC's Wide World of Sports. And, of course, our heroine, Peggy Fleming, will be there doing commentary.
And doesn't she look lovely? Boy, oh boy.
Always.
Parker Bohn keeps the match even. 2 experienced pros in their prime going head-to-head. Parker Bohn 5 strikes in a row after an opening 6-7 split. Monacelli 2 strikes, 10-pin in the 3rd, 3 in a row. 2 players, as we say out in the tour, in dead stroke. Let's just watch.
Get up.
Wonderful head-to-head competition, bowling at its finest. Bohn and Monacelli. More after this.
Well, we're almost there. Yeah, 3 years of digging and digging. But soon, our first taste of freedom. Here we are. Push.
What'll it be, boys?
2 Bud Lights, please.
Sorry, fellas, but we're all out.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
You know, Larry, we really should carry more Bud Light.
Here I am, a pillar of the community. And I love Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Brave adults challenge the notion that Frosted Flakes is just a kid's cereal.
In business meetings, I look around and wonder, am I the only one?
Those sweet, crunchy flakes and a splash of cold milk. What could an adult like better for breakfast?
I'm crazy about the taste. Hey, I got nothing to hide.
It's easy to see. Frosted Flakes have the taste adults have grown to love. They're great.
Viva Las Vegas! Bowling's high rollers head to Nevada to find out who's the king and who's headed for Heartbreak Hotel. Next Saturday on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour.
The #1 pitcher on the San Francisco Giants pitching staff, John Burkett, who is also a PBA member, bowled in his 3rd PBA tournament this year and this week, and struggled a little bit, Chris. He's looking forward to a great season with Barry Bonds on his team, and he's enjoying this match we have right now with 2 of the best. Monacelli going against Bohn. If Monacelli strikes here in the 7th, the match will be all even.
Watch this pitch. A little high.
Once again, the 7th frame on the right-hand lane has been the key shot to the match. 7th frame, Dave Traber got an open. 7th frame, Walter Ray Williams Jr. had problems. Now here, Monacelli doesn't get the open frame, but he leaves the 4-pin.
Now trailing by 11.
Monacelli with the full grip, spreads that index finger. He keys off of that. He actually pushes the ball away the target line, feeling the tip of his index finger. Then the big snap.
Amleto's first PBA title came in Las Vegas when he defeated Mark Roth. He's won 12 since, including the Japan Cup.
Match still up for grabs. Parker Bohn at potential 279, Monacelli a potential 258. It's down to crunch time. The last 3 frames, the championship match of the Phoenix Open.
Like Amleto, Parker won the Japan Cup in 1992.
I'll tell you, he just looks bulletproof out there, Chris. 7 strikes in a row, and just waiting for that ball. It's so difficult to go out there with a championship on the line and wait for that bowling ball in your swing.
Our King of the Hill challenger, Ron Williams, waiting to meet the winner of the Phoenix Open.
He can't be liking this.
No.
He knows he's got to bowl somebody, but not somebody shooting 250 to 270. Bohn 21-pin lead, 9th frame.
It's got a hold. In a row.
I tell you, you give the pro bowlers an extra half a board to play with and let them get away with 1 shot and you get a big score. Right here in a key frame, Parker knows he pulled it. You could hear it from his microphone. He says hold. You could read his lips. He got the reaction he wanted. Now he has really put the pressure on Monacelli.
He had a strike up. Foundation 9th. Monacelli. I think we ought to come back to Fair Lanes Squaw Peak more often, the way they're bowling in this championship game. Woo.
Well, Chris, there's a difference between a professional bowler and a bowler who has it for a profession. And these guys are the best. and they're doing the best. Championship match is still up for grabs.
It's a wonderful compliment you just paid them.
They deserve it.
Mm-hmm. Look at that. Now 11-10 lead by Bohn.
Seen unperturbed by the situation. One strike, he wins, no matter what Monacelli does. Monacelli can still win the match, but it's necessary to strike on this ball.
Oh, how they finish. There's Dave Ferraro, PBA Player of the Year, Amleto's roommate.
And shopping partner. They keep a clothing store in business. Monacelli, potential 258. With this strike, he will force Parker Bohn to at least strike on one of the next two balls, and a great possibility of a tie. How big that pin might be.
Amleto, it was a beautiful game. 257. What a player.
It may not be enough. Parker Bohn must fill 19 pins here in the 10th frame. A strike, it's a lockup. 9 spare strike, it's a lock. He has 8 in a row.
I can see Mary Bohn back in New Jersey and his mother Jean coming right out of the chair.
A winner for Parker Bohn. He trips the 6 pin. All he needs is just keep it on the lanes. And Monacelli, when that 6 pin fell over, showed the most emotion I've seen him in a championship match. It's going to be a 268 for Parker Bohn. Monacelli bowled great.
And he was first up, quickly up, to congratulate the Phoenix Open champion, who now has a chance to become our first King of the Hill. Standing in his way, Ron Williams of Fort Worth, Texas, who won in Torrance at Gable House last week, the AC Delco Championship. 268, 257 is ABC Sports presentation. The Professional Bowlers Tour will return after this message and a word from our ABC station.
Guess what motor oil gives you unbeatable wear protection? Give them a clue, Bert. Quaker State. What motor oil is unsurpassed in preventing sludge buildup? Quaker State. Now, guess what motor oil Bert uses? Quaker State.
Here's one tough motor oil.
Good guess.
Coach, the eye-opener.
I'll never go back to denture pastes or powders again.
Here's why. C-Bond Denture Adhesive. 2 powerful adhesives in a soft, micro-thin seal bonds dentures to your gums, can hold comfortably all day.
You'll never go back to pastes or powders again.
C-Bond.
Hey, I'm vain. Of course I'm vain. That's why I comb my hair the way I do. I stay in shape the way I do. That's why I use Power Stick.
50% more wetness and odor fighters per stroke. Power Stick by Fabergé. Power that won't let you down.
I told you I was vain.
Sunday, the new generation gap, the baby boomers versus the 20-something generation.
Plus how your personal computer can help you at tax time on Good Morning America Sunday.
On the next WHTM Comedy Showcase.
The mutiny has just begun!
Take off with Robert Townsend and his band of merry comics. With Damon Wayans, David Allen Greer, Tommy Davison, and Robin Harris.
She's gonna tell me, if you want to get acquainted with me and my son, you'll have to take us to Disneyland. I went to pick her up the next day, here she got 4 more kids.
Robert Townsend and his partners in crime on the WHTM Comedy Showcase. Midnight Sunday following Camp Wilder.
You're about to see the power of subliminal advertising.
Can you name bowling's hookingest and bashingest new ball? It's the new Rhino Pro. 100% urethane in a conventional two-piece design. Catch the Rhino Pro at one of these official Rhino Pro shops.
1-800-SUE. Suing for ridiculous reasons. Next, Donahue.
Hello, everyone. I'm Frank Gifford, coming to you from Wallman Rink in New York Central Park. We'll return to Chris Schenkel in just a moment, but first, a look at what's coming up next on the season premiere of ABC's Wide World of Sports. First, an annual visit with the Ambassadors of Goodwill, the Harlem Globetrotters, as they take their fun and wizardry to South Central Los Angeles. Plus, we'll dial you into the world of extreme skiing, and we'll announce ABC's Wide World of Sports 1992 Athlete of the Year, presented by Visa. Join us at 4:30 Eastern. The third seed in our Phoenix Open, Parker Bohn from New Jersey, defeated David Traber of Illinois 228-196 in our first match. Then in our new format, the second match, it was Bohn against Walter Ray Williams. 7 more strikes, and he won it. Then against Amleto Monacelli, the tournament leader. One of the great games I've seen in 32 years of televising this sport, 268-257. And by virtue of that, it'll be Parker Bohn that'll go against the King of the Hill, and this is what he's earned up to this point. $24,000, $12,500 for Amleto, $8,000 for Walter Ray, and $6,000 for David Traber. So our new format, we have a King of the Hill challenger, Nelson Burton Jr., and Ron Williams of Fort Worth, Texas.
You're right, Chris. Ron Williams won the right to be the King of the Hill right now with his AC Delco Classic win last week. And basically, he's the first King of the Hill. Now, the man who wins this match, whether it's Ron Williams or Parker Bohn, will go to Las Vegas as the King of the Hill next week and bowl the Las Vegas champion.
Right.
If you continue to win, you get $5,000 every week. However, if you win a number of weeks in a row, look, if you get 15 in a row, you can win $255,000. So, Chris, a lot of money at stake.
Now I know why you came back to bowl, Nelson. Okay. And with some animation, we bring in the opportunity to meet a King of the Hill. As the challenger is Ron Williams, and the man that wants to take all the money, as the winner takes all, $5,000, Parker Bohn III. A left-hander and a right-hander.
The only match we've had like this, Chris, was last year in Edmond, Oklahoma at the Choice Hotel Classic, where Gene Stuss, the senior champion, bowled Monacelli, and Monacelli just wiped him out. Let's see what happens here.
There he is. Parker Bohn. Strike. Now, 5'11", 175-pound Ron Williams, originally from East St. Louis. Had his wife Bonnie with him in Torrance. She's watching back home today.
Get up there.
Well, in both cases, the pins are listening to the bowlers.
You're right, Chris. It's an ideal shot. Last week we saw him as the tournament leader become the 8th consecutive tournament leader to win the championship. You see his style. He has that kind of a funny push away with his arm, but he lines everything at the top of his swing. And here's a situation where both men are coming off a championship. Ron Williams, he's AC Delco champion, bowling against the Phoenix Open champion. Both of them are loose and ready. Full ball.
Yeah. Great shot. In winning last week, it was his first PBA victory in 3 years, Ron Williams, which put him again into the Firestone. 7 new faces on the Firestone list at this point. Two frames, each bowler, 4 strikes. What else, or what more, can we ask?
Well, Parker just looks as sharp and as confident as anybody we've seen, and I do agree with your comment there you had, Chris, as one of the finest matches we've seen in 32 years. I haven't had that luxury of 32 years. However, in the 19 years I've sat in this position, that was one of the best, the Monacelli-Bohn match. But we're shaping up for another top one, as both players have started with a double in the King of the Hill match. Head-to-head, 5,000, winner take all.
strung 3 has already won $24,000 this afternoon. Ron Williams, his opponent, won $42,000 AC Delco Classic last week.
Two different styles, both with fairly medium hook balls. Ron with the upright style and the good loft over the line. Bohn with the deep knee bend.
Get up. Yeah. Look at that. 3 frames for each bowler, 6 strikes. The average 202 this week. While today's 4 finalists average 252, he's bowling the hottest. How does he feel about the odds?
Well, Bo, it is a disadvantage for me because I finished 102nd place this week. But, you know, it's a one-game match, and, you know, after coming off a win last week, I feel like I can win this week again and continue on to Las Vegas next week.
Come on. Yes. Yeah.
Talking very little, but come on. Does the trick with the help of a great shot. 4 in a row, momentarily at least, a 10-10 lead.
Hi, Pat Summerall here at True Value, where the main attraction is personal service. Or is it low prices? Well, let's find out.
They do have sales, and you can tell it's a sale price. It's not just a few pennies. It's a real sale.
I like their quality and their service.
You look for that 1 star and you trust it, and that's where you go.
For personal service and low prices, bring your family to ours, the True Value family of stores.
Everything I needed to move into my new house, I bought right here.
I use a shampoo for dandruff, but my scalp still itches like crazy.
You need Scalpicin, the revolutionary scalp medicine for deep scalp itch, not ordinary dandruff. Scalpicin is not a shampoo. It's a clear liquid you don't wash away like shampoo. Apply Scalpicin anytime for deep scalp itch relief with medicine chosen by doctors over all these dandruff shampoo formulas. Scalpicin penetrates to relieve the itch and help prevent flaking.
The itch is gone.
Scalpicin, the scalp medicine for deep scalp itch.
In our first King of the Hill Challenge match, where winner takes all, the AC Delco champion against the Phoenix Open champion, we have 7 strikes. Ron Williams 4 in a row, Bohn 3 in a row. Still all even. Nelson. Wide World follows us. And equally as good are the Harlem Globetrotters. And on this Wide World of Sports, they are the ambassadors of goodwill because they visit and play in South Central Los Angeles. And I know our director, Larry Cam, and producer, Caroletti, really enjoyed doing that show. Well, it comes up next. 4 of them were here with us today. We hope you saw them.
That scoreboard pretty. 8 strikes, 4 by each player.
And then reality.
Well, Chris, he's wondering what happened there, but if he went quickly on the approach and his arm swing got away from his body. When your arm swing gets away from your body, you don't get the leverage necessary, and here he hits light, leaves the 1, 3, 4, 6, 7. The best way to shoot that is get the ball to the right of the head pin in the 1-3 zone, get over in this area, drive the head pin into the 4.
You can tell.
Too much of the head pin.
Well, for a man that is the Phoenix Open champion by virtue of 3 victories, now it's a winner-take-all King of the Hill match.
Ron Williams, who had 27 strikes in a row during the tournament last week at the AC Delco, has 4 in a row to start this match and can take a big lead.
Oh, hold on, baby. Carry. Yes.
Oh, and he is accepting the challenge, which he earned by winning last week.
You know, it's interesting watching from the announce booth 2 players that are very loose. Parker Bohn with a victory today in the Phoenix Open. Ron Williams, unperturbed by his poor finish this week, is loose as a goose, and he has a major lead in this King of the Hill match. Watch how he's playing the lane. Very conventional player. He's going to start to the right side of the approach. He's going to drift to the center. He's going to go right around the second arrow, just about as standard as you can be.
We're going toward that halfway point. 5 in a row. He leaves the 4-pin. And, of course, this year, should we have a perfect game, True Value again with a $100,000 bonus and a $10,000 bonus from the PBA.
Well, if the head pin goes to the sideboard, kicks out the 2, the 2 takes out the 7, but not the 4. With a conversion, 20-pin lead through 5.
All right. Next week, Las Vegas, then Grand Prairie, Texas.
And then we go on to the True Value, Peoria, and St. Louis, my hometown, for the Budweiser tournament. The next 4 weeks. Parker Bohn not thinking about that. He's thinking of the next 5 frames in front of him.
Carry. Comes right back. He had games of 228, 236, and 268, this man.
Key shot here, Chris. He came off that big string, and he kind of was a little bit worried about the type of shot that he threw on 37 last frame. Let's see if he just puts that behind him. A confident Ron Williams. That's that AC Delco check for $42,000 in his back pocket.
Didn't see him smile like that at all when he comes back. He usually has a big smile on his face. Of course, bowling as he's bowling will make you smile, all right.
And his opponent struggling a little bit right here.
Yeah. Remember, 42 last week. This man, 24,000 today. The previous game, winning the Phoenix Open in our new format. Now, our first King of the Hill challenge match.
Must spare for Parker Bohn. He'll be at a 211 pace. He's going to have to string some strikes in this high-scoring environment.
Remember, Parker has already bowled 3 games. He looks tired. Just see how hard he hit that seat?
And a little disappointed. He went through 3 very tough opponents. Traber, Monacelli, and Williams.
Carry. Yeah. All 3 of Ron's victories came around his birthday, including the one last week. One of them came on Bonnie's birthday, so. Paul Barkley, regional partner, manager of Fair Lanes. 22 years we've associated with Fair Lanes.
Sponsoring tournaments both in Phoenix and Baltimore. Now Ron Williams can extend his lead to 38 pins if he strikes here in the 8th.
No, hold it.
He's probably wondering how he did so poorly in the tournament, Chris. I think he's found something.
He said earlier he had. I heard him tell, I think it was Dave Ferraro, that he had discovered something.
Found the secret. Maybe a little more loft and a little less hook.
10 pin for Parker Bohn. If you just joined us, 3 great games by this professional. 228 victory over David Traber's 196. Walter Ray Williams Jr. had a 196 to Parker's 236. Then in the last match where he won the Phoenix Open title, 268, Amleto Monacelli, 257.
As Parker Bohn comes up here in the 9th frame, if he does not strike, he is a gone goose. No chance.
And $5,000 to the winner only.
And another chance in Vegas. Bohn stays alive. He has a potential 230. That strike forces Ron Williams to mark here in the 9th and 10th frames, or a strike here in the 9th. This would lock it up.
Get up, baby.
Yeah! All right. Remember, he waited for Parker Bohn to win 3 games in the Phoenix Open Championship. Off to the right. Comes in here like gangbusters.
Good point, Chris. And another good point is our tournament leader has won 8 consecutive tournaments. However, Parker Bohn dethroned Monacelli in the semifinals. But in the final match, once again, the man on top coming in has prevailed.
Good enough.
Potential 258. That's plenty.
There's the handshake, the low five, and it's a high $5,000, that is, for Ron Williams.
And you'll see him in Las Vegas next week in the final game.
So the television history here, becoming the first ABC Television Professional Bowlers Tour King of the Hill. He was a challenger coming in here, earned it by winning the AC Delco, and this man earned the right to try and win by winning the Phoenix Open with a big 268. All right, the King of the Hill is Ron Williams. The Phoenix Open champion is Parker Bohn.
You know, I'm always teaching bowlers how to put fingers into the shot, not just the ball. But you can also use your fingers to save money. If you're 50 or over, just call 1-800-4CHOICE, and you can save 30% at choice hotels like Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep. 30%. Now that's what I call aiming for the pocket.
Travelers 50 and over save 30% at any of the 7 brands in the Choice Hotels family.
Dry skin, itch. What can stop it fast?
Lightning Fast Lanacaine starts working in a flash, works on contact with the itch nerves that cause every itch. These can't.
The itch is gone.
Lightning Fast Lanacaine.
Ninjas do 2 things very well. They react. And they attack. Nothing blows them away like a ninja. The AMF Ninja, available today.
The trick is knowing what to sweat and what to let go. That's what this stuff is all about. It always gives me hair that looks great without a lot of fuss.
Pert Plus. Great hair, no fuss.
Okay, there's the money. Ron Williams, the first King of the Hill, 5. Parker Bohn, the Phoenix Open champion, 24,000, and so on down the line. King of the Hill, 246 to Parker Bohn's 210. First to you, Phoenix Open champion. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chris. This has been an unbelievable week. I had some equipment problems last week, and my partner back home, John Gullick, we spent about an hour on the phone discussing it. We got it all straightened out, and John, here I am today. I won. Thanks a lot.
Didn't Mary help you, and Gene?
Mary and my mom, they're always behind me helping me. Their support is outrageous, but I'll tell you what, this week, the support that we had here at Squaw Peak Fair Lanes, you're awesome. Absolutely.
That's right. And congratulations to you, young man. 42 last week, 5 today, and you go on to Las Vegas.
Well, I'm kind of looking forward to it next week. It's kind of nice when you're automatically locked onto the TV show, and hope I keep it going. I'd like to say hi to my wife. She's at home watching. Hi, sweetheart. I love you.
That's how you explain her not being here. You're built a con job there.
Yeah. She's watching, though. I know.
That's right. Well, let's bring in partner manager of Fair Lanes, the vast establishments. And the bowling was so great with this man. You know, if we come back here every other week, it's all right with me. Paul Barkley.
Thank you. Parker, we have a check for you for $24,000 from Fair Lanes. Absolutely great bowling. Great bowling last night, great bowling today. Good job, Parker.
Thank you. Fair Lanes, they've been with us a long time, and I just hope they're back with us for many more years.
And Paul has something else.
We have a nice trophy for you. Kind of remember the Southwest here, a little different. Congratulations.
Thank you. I have a funny feeling that my 2 sons at home, Parker and Evan, they're going to be trying to take this little guy off of here, so.
Don't give it to Walter Ray. He's liable to use it for horseshoes.
I'm going to keep it away from Pete Weber.
Okay. All right. You got some checks. You have a check here for our AC Delco and King of the Hiller.
Absolutely. Ron, great job. 1 game bowling. Felt a little weird out there, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
$5,000.
Thank you.
Congratulations, King of the Hill.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to also thank Fair Lanes and the great fans that we had here at Phoenix this week, and hopefully you'll get to see a show next week and tune in and see if I can continue my King of the Hill quest, I guess.
Ron, did you find something special? You finished 102nd. Did you really on this pair?
Well, I know I averaged 202. That's what Bo told me before the tournament started, or before we bowled today, and I'm glad I could shoot something big enough to win.
No secret?
No, I changed the balls that I didn't use all week. I used 7 of the 8, and the 8th one was still in the bag that I didn't use. And
okay.
Unfortunately, that's why I bowled bad in the tournament, I guess.
Okay, King. Okay, champion. Congratulations, Paul. Thank you for a wonderful setting for our first King of the Hill. To all of you, see you from Las Vegas 1 week from today. Goodbye. The executive producer of ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour is Jack O'Hara. Produced by Carol Letty. Directed by Larry Camp. Technical Director Michael Carmen. Associate Director Russell Brooks. Technical Operations Manager Les Weiss. Production Manager Ed McKenna. Assistant to the producer Steve Shunk.
The Professional Bowlers Tour has been brought to you by AMF Bowling. AMF, an official sponsor of the PBA Tour. And by Choices Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep Hotels. Coming up next, it's the season premiere of ABC's Wide World of Sports, featuring a game of hoops with the Houdinis of the hard court, the Harlem Globetrotters. They'll perform their unique brand of magic as they visit South Central L.A.